Okay, good afternoon or whatever time of day it is around you, everybody. I will be going over with the images that was given. By the way, so my name is Jason, and I'm glad to I'm glad to having had this opportunity to share this information and knowledge with all of us. Quickly moving forward, I would love to say that this is Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo. This is Affinity Photo. So first, I would love to show us a couple of stuff. So let me just take this image away and open. Let's just say this is our file menu at the top bar. So if you want to create anything new, you can just quickly click on new, and you'll be given these options here. If you have a presets that you have already, you can use those ones, but if you want to make prints, you can have these options AO down to a CD booklet cover. So these presets are already here for you. You can make use of that. So if you want to design something for press, let's say something that's for print, so to speak, so that's why I call it press. Then also you have photo. If you want to work on photo and so on, you could just make use of these presets. Or you want to design something for web, probably on TV, on billboards, and all the stuff like that. Devices, iPad, you have down to Surface Pro, and so on and stuff like that. So you have all these options. Then, if it's for architecture, those in the architectural world will understand better. So that's just that. So you can create something new, or you could just go with print regularly. If you want to print a flyer, this is the size A4, sorry, A5, and this is A4. So A4, A5. So let's just say we click this, and we want it to be portrait. This portrait. Without doing anything further, we just say create. So this is just trying to set up something, but that's not what we're actually looking at. I'm just trying to show you that some of all these things do not come alive except something is here. So you could go with that option of creating something new, or you can open something that you've been working on before. But since this may be your first time using the software, this is just to open, or it's just you just majorly go to create something new. Okay, that's fine. Now you could actually import into this canvas or your work area. You could import images. You could import. You could use vector stuffs like this. Let's say you want to create this shape. You could just simply draw this here. Yeah. So this is the fill color. You could just probably give it a blue. Then the stroke that is around it, the edges, call it the stroke. Some people call it outline. Some other applications, you can do it like so. Then what is the width of the stroke? You could make it probably 1, 2, or 5. So just like so, however you want it. Then you have this and place it at the middle. Okay, so this is just basically a vector something. Vectors, we're not going to be looking at vectors, but basically this is just it for that. Now you could import images, you could add texts to this whole work area. So as I was saying, all these things do not work or do not come alive except you have something going on in here. So what we're just trying to do is just to look at the whole interface. So what will be your major concern is just the tool the tools panel. Here, this is a panel consisting of a lot of tools. You see view tool. When you go around it yourself, you could see the names and what they can do. So this is just the tools panel. This would be your area of concern. Then also this panels here, these are just for information. So I'm probably selecting of colors. If you want to, you can see it's changing over there. Then you have the swatches. You could just pick from if you want this. So these are just options of colors. Then you have brushes around here. But going further, the most other important place is this, the layer. Everything in this software of Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Affinity Publisher, they all deal with what they call the layer system. Now what they're trying to say is this: as much as you have this, let's just quickly draw um, a rectangle. Start from here and drag like so. So after that is done, you could notice that the rectangle has covered the star. That is to say, everything is arranged in stack. What do I mean? Just like how you put a book that is wider on top of a book that is smaller. So definitely the book at the top will be the one that you see first before you see the book under, except you change the position, which we could actually do by simply saying this one should be dragged up like so, and this comes at the top. It is transparent. Why? It seems transparent as if it's just a star, right? But it's because the inner color, which is called the fill color, is same color as the background. But if we change this color now, coming to colors, we give it a yellow, you see that happens. So basically, you should be concerned in this software using your file menu. In this your file menu, you have the edit, you have the text. This is responsible for formatting your texts as much as you want to. In your document, you should know the size and so on and so forth. Then the layers, as we said here. So this is what deals additional information that you need to manipulate your layers. In your selections, we'll get to selections when we are working on the image. Then you have arranging, which one should come to the front, which one should go to the back, grouping and ungrouping, align to the center, aligning to the left, and so on. So filters, you may want to use some of these filters later. Probably want to make a picture blur, or let's say you want to make it look as if it's zoomed, as if it's lensed, and so on and so forth. So all these features are used to edit image. Let me quickly mention that this software is a digital image editing software. So you could actually do some other stuff, but what it specializes most is on image editing. So this is just to expose us to what the software looks like. So if you touch this, you see some informations down here. If you look at it very carefully, it says star selected, drag to move, and so on and so forth. So this is the move tool. You can use it to move stuff around. Then this is the crop tool. The crop tool can be used to resize or to change the size or dimensions of a particular shape. So if you're done and you're okay with this, you could just simply come here and say apply, or you cancel. So you can see that, but I don't want that. I can just simply undo by saying Ctrl plus Z on my keyboard. So this is just basically a few things. But what would be our major concern after knowing all these spots here in the software is this. Number one, we want to be able to probably crop an image if it's not the dimensions we want. If we want it to be square, we will crop an image to be so using this tool, which I've used just now. Then the next tool which we'll be concerned about is selection brush tool. Selection brush tool is very, very important, and later when you have something you've done, you could simply edit that particular image. Just imagine this is an image. What you can simply do, you can do some image adjustments here. You could want to make it like so, if you want that preset, or you want this preset, or you want this preset. So you could just manage around if you want it to be like so, and so on and so forth. So the most important is just this, knowing to move around the software. So coming next after this video is showing us how to mask the image or take away the background. If there's any question, you could kindly ask below.